Right, so,
There we go.
so I'm gonna call to order. It is now 4:30 on Monday, August 12th, 2024. So we need a roll call
Yes. Chairperson Iris Ramos,
here.
Vice Chairperson Jacob McElroy,
Here.
Board Member Terry Bernie Bissett, Board Member Cheryl Mills,
Here.
Board Member Judy Newton.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Great. Okay, so the first item, there are no public comments. So the next item is to approve the minutes from July 8th. That attached here.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Hold on, we're gonna video. Hold on one second.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? The minutes.
I'll second that.
I'll make a motion to approve
I'll second that one too. I'll second them all.
All
I'll
right,
put one down, and then we'll make it.
then, so we have a motion to approve. Like, do we need to vote on it?
Yes. And as I was telling Vice Chair McElroy last time, if you want to do a roll call vote, or if you just want to do a show of hands, whichever you're pretty guys.
Show of hands goes pretty quick.
Yeah.
Show of hands.
All right.
It was on Zoom. Can I vote for the approval of this? Yeah. Well, I couldn't vote for anything last time.
Well, you're-
You were in attendance.
Was. All right.
Here, that's all that matters.
So let's see if we can move through some of this pretty quickly. Also, member Richardson is not here right now, so I'd like to postpone this until her report until she arrives. So we need to make a motion to move her item,
Table it until the next meeting?
no. Table
Or
for later
postpone
today,
till-
till she arrives.
You don't have to make a motion. You can just, you can go back to it.
All right, is that okay with everybody? All right, so item number 3, discuss and take possible action regarding 2024-25 future Arbor Day celebration, including possible dates. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the minutes from. That is today.
The 12th.
Yes, okay. So is there any discussion, if anybody would like to do that about this item?
Well, we're gonna consult with the Parks and Rec, is that right?
I did do that.
At Augusta, that's good for, our time slots are good for,
So it was in my notes, but it wasn't in the minutes for this meeting. What we had discussed was having an Arbor Day celebration in November And we said the fourth, but the fourth is actually in the middle of the week, November 4th of 2024. We were gonna do a tree giveaway.
I don't have that date. I know we said April 4th, 2025 for the spring.
And that's the happy hour.
Arbor Day for 5 to 7, the Friday for like a Friday evening, but for the fall, I don't think we had a date even penciled because we were waiting to see what parks, if we could even plant the tree.
That's right. So, our idea was to have 2 Arbor Day events
Small.
in the coming year. And the first one was gonna be in November, and we looked at the calendar to see if it was open. And to do a Friday, 5 to 7 happy hour event. And so I spoke with Ruth Ann Gilbert, who's the chair of the board, Parks and Rec, and she was very happy about the possibility of doing that. And her thinking was that the park would be finished by that time, hopefully, and that it would be a great way to dedicate the park. That's not our part is to present a tree and with a plaque, so we need to get a plaque on the November 8th was the day that worked because, the 4th is,
Monday.
yeah,
You wouldn't want to do this on a Saturday when kids are not in school?
we were gonna do a 5 to 7.
I think we're,
Oh,
I know we
okay.
didn't reconnect again, but,
I thought that was the April.
that's the April. I thought for the giveaway, it was gonna be like a smaller, like a Saturday morning, like
Was it?
a smaller event. And if we could partner with the Parks and Rec and like have a presence there, I think that would make sense, if it's their kind of ribbon cutting for the park. But
So,
the only happy hour we talked about was for the April Friday night.
If you look at the minutes for the ones that are in the packet, what Ms. Mills was referring to is item 3. That was the only date that it recognized on.
on April 4th of 2025. So I have not seen Mario lately. So I was aware of that, but that was the only time frame that we talked about, and in my notes that were a little pain-induced. We did talk about doing all of our events 5 to 7 on a Friday evening, doing happy hours, so that, because November, kids are doing soccer, probably, or some sort of sport event. And what I wrote down was a tree planting party on that Friday, but, I mean, we can do it whenever we want.
Did Parks have a date, the Friday that you got a date that they
They
would
were
be,
great with that date, because it didn't interfere with anything else.
and they would like to collaborate and have co-host an event with us, and we give away trees there, dedicate the tree, and they do
And plant it, or hire somebody to plant it. Which
at the event or prior to the event.
At the event. Well, that's a good question. We can do it anytime. The most pressing issue that I can see is that, we are currently on a budget and we have approximately $4,000 left from the current budget, 2023 to 2024. And there is, let me start over. We asked for a tree to be allocated that we could plant at Augusta Park. And the city council approved that and allocated the money for that, but it hasn't been purchased. So it has to be purchased by the end of September in order to be used up in that particular budget. And there's also more money in that budget. I have notes about that too.
Do you want that white oak?
For what?
Do you want that white oak I have?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, the white oak that Jacob donated Arbor Day that my neighbor won in the raffle, is on my deck, and it's very happy and healthy.
Good, that's good to hear.
But it's really,
Give them a willow or desert willow,
Yeah, desert
what
willow.
they asked for,
okay,
but
So we had $4,900 in the budget left from last year. And $1,000 was allocated by city council for the park, Augusta Park. So we need to buy a tree and then have it planted. And so we have $1,000 to buy the tree and plant it. We could do it anytime, as long as we've got water. We were hoping that November there would be water, and that's why the giveaway was also planned for that time, the tree giveaway. Anyway, so I don't want to belabor this point, but I guess we need to decide if we want to do this on Friday or Saturday.
Well, then the football game, you should say on Friday afternoon, right?
They are,
I don't know if that would interfere with anything coming.
well, so we also have to think, the sun goes down at 6 o'clock in November. So.
Okay, so suggestions.
I would look at maybe Saturday, November 11th. We wouldn't, I think that's the next Saturday, or the 9th, sorry. We wouldn't have to compete with market days if we did it early. And again, I don't know the conversation that you had with Parks to see how involved they want to be, or if this is just how are we gonna move forward?
This is just an event that's concurring with what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And she will do everything else. Our plan was to plant the tree, dedicate the tree, and give away trees. That was it.
Yeah.
Very simple.
That following week, our kids out of school that whole week, the,
Kids are out of school, Thanksgiving break starting on, I think it's the 22nd of the Friday. But I would not try to plan something on Thanksgiving break.
oh, I thought Thanksgiving was on the 21st.
No, it's on the 28th. Wait, wow,
Oh.
late, yeah. It's late. But Texas Arbor Day is Friday, November 1st, that is the day after Halloween. I don't think what we talked about is not following up Halloween, like it's too much to ask of people. So if we look at Friday the 8th or 9th, if we want to do a Friday 5 to 7, or if we do it Saturday morning, like 9 to 11, and it's just an easy, and again, I don't, depending on what Parks wants to get involved, do like coffee, donuts, come grab a tree. We could even put out emails to have residents register for it, reserve a tree. That way we know, and we could give them, depending on what we have available, whether we're planting them in the garden or we're buying them, anywhere from 3 to 5 gallon trees, or even smaller, depending on what we can get. And
So before we get there, let's determine when we want to do it. The next item is about those saplings.
yeah,
So, I can do either, and I think Ruth Ann was pretty open.
Okay.
We just didn't want to interfere with a lot of the community activities. It seems like we're gonna do that no matter what.
they're always.
So,
Well, I personally like a Saturday morning where people can come out and get their coffee and their donut and bring the kids. To me, I like that.
We did the seed stomp last November, it was like the 11th, it was like same second weekend of November. I think we had, and you came, you were there.
Yeah, it was
At
nice.
the triangle,
right?
it was a 2-hour, come in, we did a seed stomp at the triangle last fall, with the community garden, and I think we had a really great turnout kid-wise, it was fun. We'll talk about garden partners in a minute, but
so do we have a motion?
I would like to make a motion. Okay, I would like to make a motion that we schedule a fall tree giveaway on Saturday, November 9th, from 9 to 11 a.m.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second
Okay, and then, are there, let me see, do we
at Augusta Park.
vote?
Right, should we say that we want it in collaboration with Parks and Rec, in collaboration with the Parks and Rec board?
It has to.
Yeah. Like I should have that all
We
in.
don't dare step on their territory.
Exactly.
So.
So that's the ninth.
Saturday,
The 9th, the 9th, 11th.
it.
9 to 11.
Yeah.
And daylight savings time is on.
Oh, it is. So let's
Starting
see,
at 2 a.m. apparently.
So it will be.
yeah, so
So it's a good call.
6 o'clock nighttime.
All right, so let's vote on it. We have a motion.
Show of hands.
The show hands.
Motion passed.
Okay. So, so number 4. Yes. So we'll move on to the next item, which is,
Now, see, somebody's gonna get with Parks
Yeah.
and coordinate
I've already started.
with Ruthann, okay.
Yeah. But thank you for bringing that up. And, oh, what do we do about the tree? Well, that's also an item that's also listed on number 4. So, or number 5. We need to get a tree by the end of September, the very latest. Yes.
You know, 'cause I'm happy to haul water down there. I mean, I've been, you know, when it's dry, I water the little planter at Brook Meadow. I just bring rainwater, air conditioning condensate or whatever I got. And I've always got more than I need, so I'm happy to drop water on it. It's in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Sounds like we have a tree.
we agreed to give them, they had requested a desert willow.
We planted a desert willow last time.
We did it in the triangle. Becky Denton and
Part of their plan.
their,
Oh.
we can't get involved with their plan so much. And this was requested 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it was just, you know, we've got a free tree wherever we want to put it.
Right.
Well,
It was donated back to the city.
it can also be part of the giveaway. Okay, I mean, we're gonna use that tree. So,
So do we need to decide who's gonna make the purchase, go purchase the desert willow, or?
you and I had a conversation about this.
Uh-huh.
We're on number 4, about purchasing these giveaways and for other trees that we need for replacement.
So, my sellers for saplings, like, depending on the quantity we want, if we want a high quantity, they won't be ready till December to April is their window. Other places around Texas, they're roughly $10 for a 1-gallon tree, and that's a really good price. The travel time is roughly 2 hours to get to them,
Okay,
just wherever we go, down by San Antonio. What is it called? Columbus, or up towards Dallas. So, you can expect to pay roughly $10 for a 1-gallon tree. I think 7-gallon trees are around 40. And then, the price just goes up from there. And the variety kind of varies on size as well, or location.
So the tree that we planted, at CYJ, which by the way, is looking very happy. I
Good,
checked it today.
man.
Yeah, it's nice. But that was like a 30 gallon.
That was a 60
A
gallon.
60 gallon.
That was a big tree. The cost on that, it would have been around $1,200,
Okay.
$1,500.
So,
I was
Put it in
just getting perspective.
Perspective, exactly. If we want to give
So
away
what about
trees,
Willow? What about the tree named Willow, with the
we
triangle?
Willow.
took care of that.
Willow?
Willa
Oh,
was
Willow.
donated by Waverly Gardens.
Okay, but that
And
would
I
have been,
checked recently on how much they would charge us for another, it's a 30-gallon tree,
oh, it was 30 gallon.
30 gallons,
Okay.
and I believe it was about $500. And that would be tax-free.
So I have a connection down in Columbus that has desert willow. And, I need to double check with him what sizes he has. But ideally, we'd like to know what size Parks and Recs wants to put in the ground. Do they want a 30-gallon or are they okay with a 5?
I was told 30. They wanted what we
We-
put into Triangle.
Okay,
We allocated $1,000. So we're prepared to spend big bucks.
okay, well, I can double check to see what sizes are available, otherwise we can find one local at a retail nursery.
Okay,
Are you digging the hole?
Yeah, the 1,000 includes the plant.
We need someone to dig the hole,
yes.
not backwards.
Well, that's, we allocated
Carrying
it
the
for
forward.
the installation.
We may have somebody on board by then that could help, if possible.
Yeah,
We're recruiting right now, somebody that can do that kind of work.
so,
Oh, in the RFP?
yeah,
Nice.
hopefully. But we do have,
Not in the arbor side. It's in,
Oh.
it's in the land there, but, all right.
Oh, cool.
so Jacob, you're going to check and purchase or move towards purchase, but at the latest, September 15th.
Yeah, how many tree saplings do we think we need for the giveaway? And what's our budget on that?
So our budget, well, I think our budget person just shut up. Kristen just shut up. Our budget has doubled. So it was $750 per event, and so for next year, we've got 3,000. It was 1,500 for the year, and now that has doubled. According to the last budget, if it was approved.
We're not working on that budget until after October though, right? So what's our budget between now and October?
Well, we have $4,000 left in the.
Minus the 1,000.
Minus 1,000. So if you please, write,
How many trees did we give away in that fall arbor day? How many did you come in and how many?
I brought- I feel like I brought 25, no.
You did two different sizes, didn't you? Did you have small and then the larger or no?
Hold on.
I
Golly.
think Jacob planned all
Oh,
of.
okay, 25. I brought 25. I purchased 50. I kept 25.
Mhm,
They didn't arrive.
And I guess I donated 25,
mhm,
and that was from tree folks.
mhm.
So we gave away 25.
25 trees.
Yeah, and those were good, nice ones.
Are we able, I know the tree
There
folks
was a couple leftovers, right?
partnered
some of the
with
rubbish.
I don't know where they're at.
you took them back. You had your trailer.
I guess they're at my nursery.
So I suggest that we give 1-gallon trees and they're $10 per tree,
Yeah.
right? So if we got 25, that'd be $250. And so, and if we got reservations for them, that would be a nice giveaway, I think. Right? What do you think?
I think 25 is a good sweet number.
Yeah.
I do too, and I think the 1-gallon is a sweet number. Judy, you know?
Yeah, so hey, uh,
Thank you.
thanks.
It's an official package.
Yeah, so 25, oh my God, 1 gallons are gonna be about 18 inches tall. 10 to 18.
And I would suggest that you just, thank them. You choose if you can. I mean, are you willing to go light-ins?
Yeah, I'm purchasing trees. I'm starting to purchase trees right now.
Well, now you, so I think what we're talking about is 25 trees that are 1 gallon. And, we can practice DEI. Diversity in trees. Okay,
Will you get
that's
us?
5.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna range from, red buds to probably desert willows.
For the giveaway?
Huh? For the giveaway, yep,
They'll get Desert Willows for the giveaway?
potentially. I gotta check. I mean, it changes daily. Inventory does.
So what we would need then is, that oak tree that the mayor is nurturing right now could be a door prize.
Yeah, I mean,
And the 25 trees with reservation could just be giveaways. Do you have a question, Krista? No? Okay.
No, Suzanne did.
Man, is that white oak going to 50 Brook Meadow as a replacement tree?
What, oh, no, somebody said something about, maybe a sawdust tree or something, or
I
that,
think,
the white oak, probably wasn't great for there. It's less susceptible to oak wilt, but it wasn't perfect for the Brook Meadow replacement. I mean,
I was just wondering.
I would put it there, but I'm not the expert. I am only the babysitter or the tree sitter.
Thank you for taking care of it. And, okay,
Is
so,
that to replace the palm looking tree that blew down? Is that where you're talking about 50 Brookhaven? Is that-
No, it's on Brook Meadow. It was,
Oh, Brook Meadow.
it was run over by the alpha paving people or something.
I know during the tornado type weather we had.
Oh, no, that was that big one at Jack Miller and Brook Hollow. That was technically in the right of way. So it's technically a city tree, but
so back to this, and I am discussing that replacement tree with Jim Burton, who is negotiating with Alpha Paving
right.
for nothing. I mean, we're not paying for that. So, in terms of purchasing these saplings, do you call a 1 gallon tree a sapling? It's not,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
a baby.
I don't know, they're about the same.
Okay, so we need that with the, assume when we can get them, when is the best time? We have the money right now in our budget to buy them. Because we're spending $1,000 maybe for the new desert willow for Augusta Park, but that still leaves money that we can spend from this past year's budget.
I'd have to look at my other calendar, but I'm gonna probably go get them in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. So I have another idea about that as well, but it's item number 7. So do we have a motion to buy these trees to,
I will make-
recruit Jacob to purchase these trees?
I will make a motion.
Is there any kind of conflict of interest?
Here's the middleman.
Okay,
You're the tree guy.
Yeah, if you were purchasing the trees, marking them up and selling them back to us, that would be a problem. If we're just, if we're just part of your order and you just want reimbursement for 25 trees, then that's not a conflict of interest. Not
okay,
Okay,
in my book.
so do we have a motion for Jacob to purchase a tree. I mean, this has already been approved by city council, the desert willow for Augusta Park. So we don't need more, I don't think, more consent about that. But we just need to buy 25 trees out of our budget and 1-gallon trees. And then, I don't know if we want to buy any more door prizes besides the oak that was given away last year. So we're gifting it, I guess. So do we have a motion for Jacob to go purchase these trees?
I would like to make a motion to have Jacob, source and purchase 25 1-gallon trees to give away at our fall tree giveaway event.
Is there a second?
I'll say that. Thank you.
Oh, let's do a vote. Well, no, before we vote, is there any more discussion on this?
I just wanted to double check, does Jacob need to purchase these by the end of September as with the other
It would be ideal,
farm budget?
but it's not required. It would be nice. We lose this money. If we don't spend it, we don't get it back. It doesn't roll over.
We wouldn't want to lose that money, would we?
No.
So he needs to go in to that before the end of September.
It'd be like $3,000 worth of trees, because that's what's left over in the budget.
I have a question. If we send out an email and have residents register for their free tree, and let's say we immediately get all 25 reserved, how would we have any room to go back and purchase more trees?
I think we should announce it as first come, first served.
Just announce it at 25 first come, first served.
And have to be in attendance.
But it,
Right. Yeah.
2-hour thing, I don't know.
When is the giveaway?
If they register for a giveaway, I think we need to.
they need to come and pick it up during that time.
So this motion has passed. Do we need to vote on it? We need to vote. Okay. Yes.
Show of hands. That's it. No, motion is passed.
Okay. So, anyway, so. All right, so then you just mentioned, Jacob, that we have $3,000 that we could probably spend minus the $250 for the door prizes that we just, not the door prizes, yeah, the giveaways. $250 for the giveaways, and we have 4,000 plus. It's almost 5,000, I think. So, yeah, we have 4,900 left in our general tree fund. And if we spend 1,000 of that, at least 3,900. So that would leave us a nice window of money, and then we run out of money by September. So it doesn't mean we have to spend it all, but we were looking at replacement trees. And according to the survey, there were 8 trees that were dead or dying. And I believe you were going to fix the language on that. Do you remember?
I don't remember agreeing to fix the language on it, but what the confusion was is you were concerned that they said alive, and, that wasn't my concern. My concern was that they were hazardous. So just a little clarification on the surveys. It may not even be, replacing those trees, but making them less hazardous.
So, okay,
Right?
yeah, well, so the challenge, there's several challenges in this. We cannot remove them until they are certified dead. And we can't treat them that they are hazardous unless they're certified that they are hazardous. And so this is where we need information about the potential candidates for our city arborist. And what I understood from Jim Burton, and I don't want to step on your toes, Steph, but I understood that right now we need 5, he's figured it out, but we need 5 candidates. And every 2 refusals or non-responses counts as one of those 5. So we have Bartlett, who has suggested that they would do it, and I'm gonna try to reach out to Hal this week and just show up.
Well, the RFP is open till the end of the month.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go recruit and put them on the list of potentials. But we can't do a thing until we have a certified arborist. So that's,
And we have one person that's,
We have a response from Bartlett.
and then
Um,
cause I reached out to like 13,
wow,
So if we have, well, I mean, we don't have to have 5 bids, we only want 3
Right.
bids. So 1 bid and 4 non-responses is 3 bids.
okay,
Yeah.
So if Bartlett was the only one we got, we could choose to go with Bartlett.
after the 31st of August.
Yeah, I mean, after the bid, after the RFP closes.
Okay, thank you for that research. That's a big deal. It's a
That's
lot.
a lot.
It's a lot.
I just went through the Oakville certified website and everybody that was listed like this in this area, I was like,
Yeah. So I don't know, Cheryl, if you actually copied the survey and gave it to Jim, did you?
In the email that I sent, I think I just took the section, of trees and just screenshotted it. I can pull it up.
It's okay, I did meet with him,
Okay.
and he had not received it, or if he had, he didn't know where it was until I said, this is it, I had a copy of it, and he pulled it from the agenda. From the paperwork from our agendas, the minutes, and so I showed him what they were, and he's ready to act on it once we get a certified arborist. Okay, so you don't have to do anything else, unless you want to, So, back to. I think we're gonna start getting trees, and I'm gonna skip here. I don't want to, but I'm beginning to see how I need to write out the agenda a little differently. But back to the purchase, we have, how many trees do you suggest we buy for replacements?
Are we I mean, what's our timeline? Like, we have, what'd you say, we have 8 conserving trees on the survey? So without a place of storage, I would suggest just buying as we go. Unless we have talked to someone that is willing to nurse these trees while we remove and do the work to replace them. We should just get them one at a time.
Okay, the only thing, if I may, is that we have $3,900 and we lose it if we don't use it.
Is that 39 in the tree fund? Okay, that does not go.
Yeah,
The tree fund does roll over. It's a separate fund. It's what is budgeted to you in your M and O for like general operations through the year, like for Arbor Day and stuff like that. You don't spend that, it goes away, but the tree fund is allocated and is kept in a separate fund and accounted for in a separate fund. So that does not go away after.
Okay, then we don't need to do it right now.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. Not that 4,900, not that 4,900.
Thank you. I got it wrong. Okay,
Easy mistake.
so then we can
municipal budgets.
So the motion I heard is that we buy trees as needed
I have a question.
to replace the trees.
For the trees that we sent to Jim that are in serious decline. When we have this arborist that's hired, he's gonna go assess these trees. You know, my opinion of a tree in serious decline as a pure amateur, it might be something that Jacob looks at and says, this tree just needs serious pruning. Right, so are we, I agree that we need to buy them as we go, but are we also, if we take a tree from the corner of Wood Creek and Champion Circle, we're replacing that tree right there, or do we have a plan or thought of where these replacement trees are going? Or are they just going right where the trees are pulled? If they're even pulled.
If they're in a bad spot, I would suggest a new planting site,
Yeah,
you know, when I'm planting a tree, I think location, location, location. So we don't have power lines, but you know, ideally not anywhere close to utilities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do
roadway,
we have,
stop signs.
yeah, any thoughts on where we'd really like to see trees that aren't currently, so that as we progress and currently, you know, are planting more trees every year around the city, where do we really want those trees to go? And I ask this because when we did our survey portion, we did, you know, the front part of the entrance, and it's like a whole forest over there on the corner of Wood Creek Drive and Champion Circle. There's a ton of trees that there's trees needed somewhere else. Like, I'm just wondering where we're gonna put the trees that are replacing trees, or we're just putting them right back where they were.
So,
Or can we be thoughtful of where we put them?
so I think that's why we also need a certified arborist who will have an oversight over all of the trees in the city and can decide the best place. Although I think dead trees probably should be replaced. I mean, if we remove a tree, I want a plan in place to replace it. So that,
If it's already in a dense, like a tree that, or an area that's dense with trees.
if the arborist
Move it
suggests,
to somewhere where it's not.
the arborist will make that decision. I think we would have some input. Okay, so we don't need to make any motions right now, we can just move on. How are you doing on time?
I am about to take off.
One which you might want as part of the report and then on a council agenda for discussion and action is to just approve the plan for replacing trees as identified, and using the tree fund to pay for that, just let council say, yeah, that's good. That's perfect, because it's, you know, you could spend as much as, you know, $5,000 on that, you know, so council's gonna want to say, yeah, that's a great idea.
So do you want Iris to fill out one of the recommendation forms so that Chris can put it on the agenda?
That's fine.
Except that we don't have a plan yet for.
Right, that's just it. I mean, the plan is as identified for replacement, in the coming year.
We need to know which trees to replace, right? Am I hearing it wrong?
No, what I'm
Yeah.
saying is since you don't know specific trees and specific locations and things like that, they bring to council and say, we're gonna put a tree at the corner of Wood Creek, you know, and Brook Hollow near the triangle, you know, you might bring that to council, that is, you know, there's an expense there that wasn't previously budgeted. So if you do not have specifics, you can say we have a plan to replace, you know, declining trees, over the next year using tree fund, and they will be replaced, you know, as identified for replacement, you know, by the tree board and the arborist, using the money in the tree fund. So that way it's on the record in the minutes of the council meeting that the council has approved y'all purchasing at will, I mean, as identified. And working through, you know, city manager, you know, to make the arrangements for that. But otherwise, it's almost like a case by case, you know.
Okay, so
Can I start that one off?
if you need to go,
Oh, I got, you know, 5.
I got it.
5 minutes.
I'll go.
Wait, time here.
okay,
Y'all can start, a motion somewhat like, if someone makes a motion to request that city council approve the tree board's recommendation to replace,
Trees identified as hazardous.
trees identified as hazardous, as identified by the tree board and the arborist with money in the tree fund.
Yes. So,
So you want to say you said it and then somebody seconded, and then I'll get with Ms. Richardson later.
yes,
I'll say.
I would like to file a motion or suggest a motion that we propose to the city council that
Do what?
they approve a plan
Eight.
for placing trees identified as hazardous.
Yeah. I think 8 sounds pretty fun.
Okay.
Show of hands.
We need a
That's a
second.
second.
Second, by Ms. Snell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Show of hands. Okay.
I'm just gonna make it.
All right, thank you. It's very helpful. So we'll go ahead and propose that and present it to the test. Okay.
Can you come in tomorrow?
Yes, I have an appointment with Wednesday. Is Wednesday okay?
Absolutely. And then you can sign the paperwork and I can hand it to Ms. Richardson.
I'll be here in the morning on Wednesday.
And we're gonna switch.
Okay.
Well, there's a
So, very good. Very good.
Can we jump About that food on, or.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, so let's. Krista, we jumped the agenda. Are you leaving?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We tabled the reports until you arrived. Is there anything that you would like to report as the liaison?
I mean, we already talked really briefly about who's responded to the RFP so far, so we have at least one person who's responded, so that's good. And then for the budget, it was agreed upon that we were able to increase the tree board budget, to like $3,800.
How much?
3,800, so
Wonderful.
that'll give us a lot more wiggle room and be able to put on 2 events per year rather than just one event. And then, not directly related, but, on that, same topic, we were able to also increase the line item budget for our arborist and for our local containment. Since we knew things are gonna be, in the pipeline, so.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo!
And approved yet.
Yes, it's not big yet, but.
I'm taking all that tree money and putting it into my account.
Not on my watch.
Yeah, I know, you know where I live.
And I watch. Thank you, that is wonderful news. Okay, so number 8, Jacob had a fabulous idea, and I've heard a lot of people say they like the idea.
Cool. Well, I like the idea, and, I think that'd benefit the community in a long-term way. Years and years to come, we can continue to add to this fruit and nut orchard. And, my holdup is location. And I think my idea is Aqua Texas wants to work with the community and, be more involved. And they have land. I mean, would that be a good idea? No?
They don't really have land in the city limits. They don't have land in the city. I mean, most of the
Oh.
land, a lot of the land they own is up in Wood Creek North.
Oh, Wood Creek North, not Wood Creek.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've got, I mean, if it's an orchard, I mean, we're trying to put everything in one place and care for it all in one place.
Uh-huh.
Then, we've got this area over here, the community garden has scoped out.
I've actually had conversations with Chris Farmer when we first started we're in the works of the garden. And he sent me some grant information about getting funding for exactly this.
Really? Cool. So you want to be point, with Chris Drummer? No.
No, it's your idea, it's good.
We could all work together on it. I don't talk to Chris as much as you do,
It was
or,
a year, I mean, I would have to look it up. We haven't talked about it once since.
Oh.
we were here, just getting.
I can't remember the last time I saw Chris. It's probably been 2, 3, 4 months.
So, I had also suggested that, well, you were talking about this, and I sent you a scholarship information, but the proposal was due like today. We didn't have enough time, and I certainly didn't. You didn't get it, I sent it to you.
No, I guess not.
It was from, Arbor Day Foundation. So,
Via text or email?
email. I'm thinking that maybe last year we said we're gonna start working in August for grants and scholarships for ideas where we can get more money for the city of Wood Creek. So what if we created a committee that began to work on that? Just start working on trying to apply for foundations and grants, scholarships to build this orchard, nut and tree orchard, fruit and tree.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get funding for it, that would be awesome. As far as grants go, we have a grant writer, professional grants lawyer.
We have a company called GrantWorks that we work with, but most of their stuff, I mean, they might be able to give us some feedback on it.
Okay.
Chris is, again, the sort of point person on grants, and has a good relationship with GrantWorks people. I'm just not sure if this is something that's in their bailiwick, because they tend to look for, big projects.
I think this is big. I mean, the first item that we need is land. And, I don't know that it would be a problem to have an extension of Wood Creek in Wood Creek North. If Aqua Texas was willing to work with that.
There's some conversations going back and forth with Aqua that where Wood Creek might have, when the city of Wood Creek might have a say in that acreage that is the old golf acreage, that Aqua Texas owns. Because all Aqua wants is a place to put their wastewater, their wastewater, their effluent. So that's what they're doing now. They're pumping it up onto that old golf course and getting rid of that wastewater.
How would that affect fruit and nuts?
Well, that in a fairly short amount of time, like by 26, that will go from type 2 effluent to type 1 effluent, which, you can put on your soccer field. I wouldn't swim in it, necessarily, but we're talking about using that in the pond, below Cypress Point as wildlife habitat. For irrigation at Cypress Point, irrigation, wherever, but they have to get rid of this water. And so they're looking for partners to do it. So if something were to happen so that Wood Creek had, some, not ownership necessarily, but management of that property, with Aqua, then, yeah, and then we would also have the water to irrigate it.
Oh, yeah.
So what I would like to suggest at this point, 2 things. We need a mission statement about what we're doing so that we can offer that to Aqua Texas, make a proposal. And I think we also need a committee to work on these details that can come back to the tree board at large, to get advice or suggestions or support if needed. But we need to get started on it with the committee to work on it and a mission statement. So do we have, how does that sound? Does that sound reasonable
Yeah,
for today? So,
get it rolling.
all right, so who would like to work on that committee?
I'll volunteer, I can be liaison with Aqua. So wherever y'all decide, I've got to run, but yeah, I mean, if it's just like, okay, we need to sit down with Aqua and have this discussion, you know, I can set this up. In fact, if you want to come Sunday, we can do it Sunday, because I think we're gonna have representatives at our 40th anniversary party.
Oh, yeah. I'll be on, obviously.
Anybody else?
I'm interested in that.
Okay, so that would be our quorum.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you can bring in other citizens that aren't members of the committee, if you want extra folks, or members of the council. If you need extra people, so then you wouldn't be breaking quorum.
So I'm gonna just request that you meet regularly so that we can keep moving with some momentum to get this accomplished outside of this meeting. Okay, and you don't need anything from me to make that happen, just do it.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, I will send you
Thank
an
you all for
email
your work.
and we can schedule a time to meet up. But
Go
I
please.
also have to get going.
Thank you. Jacob.
Yeah, we have.
Thank y'all.
They're both gonna meet.
I love this idea.
I do too. All right, y'all have a good one.
Hey, Jacob. There are mango trees that line the streets in Tanzania. I know,
Mango?
mango, that they give away to the citizens. They're on the main byways.
Yeah, I used to live in East Austin and, orange trees would just tower over like the streets and people would be in the back of their pickups just filling their whole pickups up with oranges and
Ponds, yeah.
pecans would be a nice nut tree and
They do the same thing in Arizona, Phoenix.
it's a
They have-
good idea,
They
yeah.
have lots of orange trees there. And-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
for public use,
oh yeah.
consumption. Good idea.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Just found, there's this organization called the Fruit Tree Planting Foundation. And they offer, essentially like scholarships or, where you apply. And I looked at the application and it's very simple, like something we could easily do, like we wouldn't need to hire
What is
anybody.
it called again?
I'll send you an email with the link, but it's called the Fruit Tree Planting Foundation. And there's no deadlines, it's just like a rolling program, so whenever we're ready, basically the only hurdle we would need to go over, before we apply is having the location, because you have to have like a designated spot that you
And a
can-
mission.
Yeah, you can essentially prove ownership of, or that you're allowed to be doing this on.
So maybe you, Judy, could do some research on this?
Julie, what is, let me
Yeah, that's true.
get your email, hold on, let me.
It's JNEWT46@gmail.
Okay.
I'm excited. All right, so that was item number 7, and we skipped number 6. And,
I wanna ask.
oh, that was item, excuse me, that was item 8.
He was talking about orange trees in Austin. Now, it was my understanding that orange trees and lemon trees won't live here during that winter. Am I wrong? Everybody's told me that you had to take them into the greenhouse, so that would be something we have to be sure we're planting something that could tolerate ice storms.
I think that's a really good point. So,
I find it hard to believe there were orange trees in Austin, just like.
Totally edible.
Yeah.
and there may have been pots. I don't know, I hadn't heard of it.
There is a certain kind of orange tree, a variety called the trifoliate orange, which can tolerate temperatures as low as 20 degrees.
Wow. It also,
But they still didn't live here.
That they're living.
You know, everything lived here, because we probably depend on the length of right, low temperature.
Yeah.
But don't we have lower than 20 degrees?
It's very exciting. Never mind. But we just had some hurdles, I looked into it a little bit, but it's just making sure you have the land, the soils, that was the problem in this area back here, we have to do all raised beds.
Well, like
Just
blueberries,
logistics of
for
things.
instance, they're not gonna grow in our alkaline soil
Mhm.
without
The good
lots
news,
of input in.
the good news is that we have a very resourceful community, master naturalists, master gardeners, native plant society, the herbal society. I don't know if we have a fruit and nut society, but I know that we know how to get the information that we need to make it successful. And this is a big project, so we can take our time, just get all the questions answered. So I'm gonna go back to the agenda. That was number 8, but we skipped number 6. And, we did number 5 already. Okay. So, number 6. Discuss and take possible action for creating and organizing the tree board into action committees. So, one of the attachments to your agenda is page 10 and 11 of your tree board membership handbook. But I think the pages are probably copied. I haven't checked. But anyway. So we went over this last year, I think, but nothing came of it. But it occurred to me that each time we decide on a project, we recreate the wheel. And rather than doing that every time, it seemed like if we had a person who was in charge of publicity, a person who was in charge of education, a person who was financial person, person who was working with a forester, so that we each have a job. And so on page 11 of this book, I didn't look, not that she attached these pages. Yes, she did. She's so good. I'll repeat that. She is so good. I forgot Susie. All right, so. Okay, so on page 10, no, it's 11, there are areas that we can each choose to work on. It's this page. See the picture of the caption of the woman? That's page 10. And then the section next to it is, this has been minimized.
It's page 7 of the packet, but
Oh, yeah, I was looking down at the bottom. So I just thought that we each have different interests and different abilities, or not abilities, but we can't all do everything we want to do. We just can't. But we can each take a little piece of it and make this work for everybody. So if there is something that you feel that you can contribute, that you're very interested in, that would kind of surge your passion, let's line up some roles or activities for each of us. That was what I was thinking. Now, I've always heard, don't be absent if you're not going to be assigned, or you could be assigned if you're not here. Show up. This is what I've heard. And there are 2 positions that I've already been thinking that would work, like for Jacob, to assist a city forester in developing and reviewing annually and updating as necessary. for urban forestry work. Now, I don't know that Jacob wants to do that. I think he'd be well suited. And then there's also to serve on an appeals panel regarding decisions to remove or allow the removal of trees in the city rights of way. So that would be more like, variations. What was it that the golf course asked to?
Variance.
Yeah, variance, to do variances. So look at this, or to help plan and conduct annual day celebrations on the last Friday in April, or whenever we decide to do it, twice a year. So, and then we can get volunteers to do the purchasing, the setting up, the publicity, things like that. Or we could do publicity, just all at one person for that. So any ideas or comments on what I just offered or suggested? I have no expectations that you take any of it.
I'd like a little more time to read over it and think about what we've been.
So I can table this and we can read on it on our own and think about it and then discuss it in our next meeting.
Would it be wise to think about what our goals are and then narrow it down by task and who takes what versus just
That's my
Free.
question.
free range of what do you want to do and then that's all you're responsible for, or
I think the board is responsible for
all of it? Yeah.
all of the tasks.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting is that we split up the tasks in big committee type lumps so that we can get this work done. So if a question comes up about, for instance, renewing or updating a survey, and if Jacob had agreed to do that job, we could say, Jacob, it's time to do that, and we could even put a date on it. I would like to do that because we can get awards, points awards with the Arbor Day Foundation if we did that. Start collecting points. Now, I'm not sure what those points are good for. It's not like we can get S&H green stamps. Do you even know what those are?
I do. They won't. I actually still have them.
It's like rewards.
Like both sides.
We get our groceries,
Yeah.
and we get so many stamps, and then you can trade them in on gifts.
Yes, and they
Okay.
had a catalog of gifts.
Okay.
I just bought a flying fish, a windsock for my backyard, Japanese windsock. It's a water element.
Yeah.
And so I got flying fish in my backyard that I got for free from Amazon because I had rewards. Yeah. I have 3 flying fish in my backyard. So do you want to table this for now, or do you have a suggestion right now? I'm open to whatever you want to do with this.
Oh, a suggestion question, so we don't want to have to do all this work.
No,
We need a pool of people from Wood Creek that is interested in serving and helping in some capacity, not tree board members, but just someone with a forum. Like, there are a lot of master gardeners that live in our community. Your friend, I can't remember her name, but I know her, but they might be willing to, we could spread some of the responsibilities out like that if we had a pool of people somehow, volunteers.
the way I saw it was that the city council here has people who are in charge of different areas. Like Krista, Miss Richardson, has the tree board, as she's a liaison for the tree board. So she doesn't do all the work, but she oversees what we're doing. And if she wants anything, she's got all of us to support her. So she's head of this committee in this group. I mean, I don't know how else to call it, but what, so you do the trees, what does Chris Grimmer do?
He is, no, Bob's Parks. He's ordinance review.
Yeah.
Yeah, each council member has its own role, like planning and zoning or, planning roads.
So maybe what we need to do is think about what we have, like, we have the tree maintenance and care plan. We have Arbor Day, we have,
We're gonna have soon, when we get an arborist, we're gonna be reviewing the care and maintenance of those trees. We already have that responsibility, we just haven't acted on it, although we're starting to more actively. So,
what if we come up with how many of us, or 4 of us, 4 categories? Or, I
okay,
feel like we're either gonna be very vague or very specific, like, I'll do Arbor Day. I'll put me down for Arbor Day, I don't know. Or put. I guess I'm not really sure exactly how you'd wanna do it, or how to really delegate out.
that's why I'm suggesting we table it, so that we can think about it a little bit more. Terry was not gonna be here, and one of the tasks that we need, and I don't wanna talk about Terry because she's not here, but I did speak with her about the bin that we have that pulls out all the educational materials that we use at Arbor Day. And the bin needs to be cleaned and refreshed, and new materials that focus just on the trees. And so I was suggesting where she could get information on just trees that we could present as an educational component. She said she'd do that. So wouldn't you know, right in here, there is participating in educational campaigns. All of these activities, I think, are very, very important, and they make what we all do. And I'm just suggesting that if we could delegate it to one person, like Arbor Day is great, you could do that. But then Arbor Day involves the trees, and it involves education, and it involves food, and everything that you do, that you did do, that we had such a successful Arbor Day time before last. But even last time was okay. But we need to make it fresh every time, I think. So do we want to do this now? Or do we want to think about it and come back next time with our own ideas and make it an agenda item for next time?
I would say we table it until next time, and that way we're all here, we can all look at it.
This is just my opinion. It might be putting a little bit of like putting the cart before the horse, because if we're getting these like, you know, you have this role and you have this role, but until we have specific things that need to be accomplished, I mean, we don't know if whatever you get assigned, you're, you know, and then all of a sudden we have all these projects and you're the only person that is on that committee, then it's like kind of an uneven distribution of work amongst all 5 people. So, I mean, I think it might be more effective to just have it on as a case by case basis, you know, when something comes up, and then we can see who's best suited for it, who has the most available time to put into that project, or, you know, if it needs to be more than one person, I don't know.
So I agree with that. And I'm also wondering if we could begin to start vetting what people are interested in. So that if a situation does arise, like the bin, in the toilet, in the shed, if something like that arose, then Terry can say, I can do that. That's education, I can do that. Or if there was a talk that was needed. I saw one in here that advising the mayor, city council, and city departments on matters concerning trees and related resources, including revisions of the city tree ordinance. Now, I don't know that I could do all of that, certainly not by myself. But I know that I have been already just speaking with the city manager and the mayor and whoever I need to talk to. Parks, for instance, just going out, and it's more like outreach, I guess, in some way. Now, I'm not as skilled at outreach as some people like Cheryl Mills, and maybe you, Judy, and you. I mean, I'm not that skilled, and I'm an introvert, kind of, with a broken arm right now. And so, but I know that I like doing that. I like planning and vision. So, okay, so let's come, I just don't want to lose sight of this. I keep bringing it up. We brought this up a year ago.
Is the goal of the action committees just to hold people accountable? Just to make sure things are actually happening and getting done?
Sort of. It's also, my idea for it was inspired by, I think if, I'm looking for some way to inspire people to want to do it. And it's to give people the jobs that they like, so that we can get the tasks done. But also, as individual members, that we find the kind of tasks and work that we want to do that inspires us and keeps us going. This is a lot of work.
No, I like it. I just wanna,
Why do we want to do that?
no, not why do we wanna do it, but I could see it will hold people accountable. So when we say we're gonna do things, people will come and have done their homework.
Well, that happens for you mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Every time I speak to Terry, she says, did I forget something? I mean, it's really sweet because she wants to do a good job and I want to encourage her to do the best that she can, right? I mean, I feel that way about me and it's also getting to know all of you and how you work, what you would want to do. But I'm not wanting to be a police force either.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first thing you said, Cheryl, was Arbor Day. Arbor Day, I'll do Arbor Day.
I just started the last 3 on this. But I also, and I asked, like, is it to hold people accountable? There are some things, like, I chatted with you about, like, getting more education out to the community, like, whether we're creating graphics and sharing that with the city staff and they're sharing it, or do we just need to tell them what we want and they put it out? But that goes into education of, like, we want to keep the residents educated of not only what are we doing here as a tree board, but the importance of our trees and why do we have the ordinance. Some people don't even still realize that we're tree sitting.
That sounds like a great presentation to an elementary school.
But, so she says she'll do Arbor Day. Are we saying she's got to be responsible for every facet of that?
No.
Food, so
Yeah,
you would have people helping you, right?
Yeah, so we're all hands on deck for everything, but I would be the one that maybe keeps everybody up to date with their progress and what is still needed. And for events like Arbor Day, we split into different subcommittees, if you will, like.
You're talking about just these 5 people, 6 people, do it all then?
Mhm. Well, it's just the 2 of them, so Arbor Days are
Yeah.
one, and then they'll do the fall tree giveaway.
So,
Okay.
we don't have volunteerism in here because we are volunteers. But it is a possibility that we could recruit. We still need people on this board.
So like Arbor Day, we put out a volunteer sign up sheet, I think, I don't remember if you signed up, but here you
No,
are.
I just happened to drop by it.
Drop by, okay.
You know, like in fact, I was thinking there really wasn't enough awareness, public awareness, because I was thinking our neighbors, we have 7 children and our little Lou, and no one showed up, and I was thinking how much they would have enjoyed it, and I doubt they knew anything about it unless they saw the sign as you drove in. So, I was thinking, how can we reach people? Even if it took door to door, taking a flyer, type thing, how could we make people more aware? Because they would have loved that.
There were
Kids
some
and-
issues with getting the word out last year, and
Okay.
it was, I think, had to do with like the delay of spectacular, but they didn't put out anything, the city didn't post
Oh, okay,
anything
well,
about
maybe
Arbor
that's
Day
fine.
until like a week before.
So we don't want that to happen.
No.
So having one person to hold the vision, to make it happen, and then recruit whoever is needed to make it work. So, yeah. I like the idea of vision, and then coming up with the tasks that we need to make it happen. And in that particular Arbor Day that you weren't here yet, in Blue Creek, Cheryl recruited so many people to donate different gifts and door prizes. It was amazing. Just handing out food, dinners for people and wine.
This past Arbor Day?
It was
or-
23.
Oh, okay.
It was great.
This last.
Yeah, it was great.
But
And
did you have an attendance, much attendance?
yes,
Or whatever you did then, that worked. So now they
all right. So I think we've discussed this enough for now. And I would like to suggest that we just, I can bring this back up maybe in January or sooner. What do you think?
I would do sooner rather than wait on those will change.
All right, so the next meeting is September 9th, I think. I think it's September 9th. So bring it up for September 9th again. So I guess what we say is that we're going to table this until September 9th, which is our next meeting. Oh, that was my motion. Informal, I don't think we need a formal thing for it, but just gonna table it. Everybody agree? Okay. Thank you all for that discussion. And please refer to this and just, yeah, let's make it work for everybody, is what I would like. Right, so that, I, think the next item, and I would also, just as an aside, I would love it if you came up with your ideas and told me what they were so that we could put them on the agenda. I come up with agenda items every time that's me and my vision. And I just want to make sure I'm rounding up your visions as well. Okay, so where are we here? All right, so number 7. To work with the Wood Creek Community Garden Club for nursery care city purchase trees. So Cheryl, what do you think about that?
The garden would love to offer, some space in the garden. We do have a 3x5 bed that we can give up for the tree board if we want to plant anything in there. Just like our concerns for everybody else in the garden is just the water. So having everybody's on their own schedule for gardening, for watering their beds. So if we were to plant something in there, we just need to make sure that we're on the schedule and we're getting whatever's in there watered. And I'll probably have 2 beds that we could choose from. And I would say, if you want to walk out there, we can all walk out there, and one gets a lot more light than the other. One's in the shade for half of the day, and one might be more full sun.
So
But it has some shade.
where do you get the water?
We bring it in, so,
And is it sourced at a cost or?
Well, the city actually has an agreement with Aqua that we don't have to pay for water, but we're not watering outdoors, so we're not using any water right now. Anything that has been planted in those beds, like I have zinnias, and I'm bringing water from home to water them. That pumpkin's going crazy, maybe we'll have pumpkins by fall this year, but not, I don't know.
Well, now, are you under the same guidelines that I'm under in my home? Because, I mean, we're not supposed to be watering.
No, we're not. So I'll bring
Such
recycled water from home in my
Okay.
low gallon jugs,
Uh-huh.
and that's what we water with. And I've been very neglectful of my bed this summer because, but the zinnias they're huge out there right now. I actually took a peek on my way in, and the pumpkin's growing over half of the garden, so. And I haven't watered it in a month. In a month at least.
I don't even know what this is, the Wood Creek Community Garden. I've been here over a year and I've never heard anything about this. So what is this?
So a neighbor and I, really wanted to bring a garden to Wood Creek. Everybody was like, there's one in Wood Creek North, there's one over here. We worked with the city and they were very generous and gave us, right out here, right next to the shed, it's about 500 square foot gated space and it's all rocks. We have 9 garden beds in there that were all donated. All the soil was donated from the Wimberley Gardens. And then we have 2 communal beds and then 3 of them are, in use. And then we have 2 that nobody ever planted in, so. I'll take you out there.
Yeah, I want to.
It's looking very interesting.
That's awesome.
So I would like to reserve a bed.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And my thinking is because we're gonna be working with young trees who need sunlight, but also need protection from the sun, that it be modeled sun and shade. What do you think, Judy? Yeah, and these will be pots, they'll probably be in pots. And although, I don't know if Jacob is bringing potted trees or if we're gonna have to pot them. So is there space there for us to also work with them?
But I'll take you out there. There is some open space,
And
where we
tables?
can have, no, we don't have any tables, so anything like that, we normally, if we're doing a garden day, we'll bring whatever we're using. Just because of the water restrictions, the garden activity has been very light. But it's there. But we are open to, sharing the space and getting a bed for the tree board to hopefully start some tree saplings and, you can do whatever you want to your bed, so some people brought in their own shade structure for the actual bed, they're raised galvanized tubs. We did have a shade structure over it last summer, but I think we had one really heavy wind day and it just tore it down, so we haven't put it back. But yeah, we can walk through it and decide what you wanna do.
So, we haven't really voted on this. I just jumped the gun and suggested that we could use the space for the nursery for the trees to protect them. Jacob has been taking care of them, and I keep getting subtle hints that he needs some relief from that task. So, any suggestions or comments about that? Approval, non-approval, rejection?
I would say if he wants to put them in there, I just don't want them to be dropped and forgotten, because then they'll just die.
Oh, we'll have to assign a person.
Yeah, but I'll show you where we can do it.
So somebody would have to bring enough water to water 25 trees, and you're talking about 25 trees? That's a lot of water to haul in.
I normally bring like 4 1-gallon jugs when I come up here, but they'll be little
Do we
1-gallon
have
ones.
water barrels, a water collection system and all?
Not yet.
It's
It's in the windows.
Okay.
Good.
Very excited.
That would be right.
Yeah.
Because I've already damaged my shoulders from carrying water.
Yeah.
I've had to have physical therapy, and they were talking about the weight when you carry those, even 1 gallon, under buckets and.
Yeah,
air and water. But
Jake?
it affects rotating communities,
Yeah.
so be careful, you know. So we definitely, water source is much, is.
As soon as we get out of the outdoor water restrictions, there is a spigot on the back of City Hall, and we have a 100-foot hose for the garden that is available with a water sprayer. Like, we have everything we need when we get the green light to be able to water outside. We just have not implemented any of
Are
it.
there letters on the storage shed?
Not yet.
So that would be the
It's in the works.
first.
Hopefully, I mean,
That's
we're,
not
the ball's definitely rolling with it.
Nothing is cheap.
No, it was one of the first things that I jokingly was like, what about rainwater collection? And so a year later, here we are. So,
So do we need to do anything formally about this?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. If we just take an informal vote. Yes? Okay. And then, as we progress on this idea, step by step working with you, we'll assign a person, a volunteer to take care of it. Okay. And go into details after Jacob gets the trees, or before he gets the trees, or as he's getting the trees.
I think it's important to know what he's getting, because if it's pots versus just planting in the 1 3x5 bed.
We'll have to
Yeah,
amend
bigger
it.
set roots, what you're talking about, big roots. The tree.
The trees.
We
And when you see it-
the amount of work if they're already.
So,
They-
So that a motion just to cover our bases in case. It'll be super easy, just say I move to reserve one bed for the.
I move to reserve one bed and collaborate with the City of Wood Creek Community Garden to provide shelter for trees to be used in Wood Creek.
Okay, and then you vote on that.
Will you repeat that or say it out loud?
The motion is to reserve one garden bed and collaborate with the Whiskey Community Gardens for the planting of, should I say baby trees? Or
Young trees?
young trees?
Saplings, I think. Didn't you say saplings before?
Yeah,
Do you just?
young trees or saplings.
Okay. And sorry, Cheryl, did you second?
I second that.
All right, and then show of hands, four, all four, okay.
Okay, so that is the end of our meeting. And without further ado, I will close. It is 6:04 on Monday, August 12th. Our next meeting will be September 9th, 2024 at 4:30.
Yay. But Christie, do you work for the city of Wood Creek?
Oh, I'm just on city council.
Oh, okay, I got you now. So, and that's an elected position.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that they would be always on the meeting.
Thank you all. That was a wonderful meeting.
Iris, have you chatted with him, Karen?